Let's talk about variables and constants with JavaScript. Variables and constants are named spaces in memory used to store data or values. Think of them like mailboxes. Just as a mailbox holds different pieces of mail according to its address, variables and constants hold data that our programs can reference and use by their names. Variables are used for storage that may change. For instance, if you were coding a game, you might create a variable called level and initially set it to 1 for a new player. As the player progresses, you'll update the level variable to reflect their new status. This flexibility is key when working with data that will evolve over time. The new value replaces the old value, and you use the keyword let to declare the variable, or in other words, initially set up the variable. You can read the equal sign as an assignment operator. For example, level is being assigned the value of 2. Constants, on the other hand, are meant to hold data that should remain unchanged. Use the keyword const to declare the constant. For example, a user's name might be stored as a constant since the value won't need to be changed throughout the program. If we try to change the value that is assigned to a constant later in the code, we'll get an error. Let's consider a case with dates. While the sign-up date might remain the same, a value like last login could be updated frequently to reflect each new login. In this case, sign-up date would be a constant, while last login would be a variable. Notice how these variables are named. It's easy to tell what will be stored in them. It's important to have some meaningful names for your variables and constants. These names happen to contain multiple words, so camel case has been used where each word following the first one is initially capitalized. You can also use an underscore to separate words. Names cannot start with numbers, and also some reserved words like let or return can't be used as a variable name. In JavaScript, variables and constants can store any type of data, including numbers, strings, and more. Unlike some programming languages, JavaScript doesn't require you to specify a data type when declaring the variable. This flexibility allows you to change the data type of a variable if needed, like switching from a string to a number without any additional steps. You may come across the var keyword in older code for declaring variables. While var still works, using let for variables and const for constants is now the preferred approach. Let and const improve your code readability, and they'll help scope management and prevent accidental redeclarations, making your code more robust and easier to debug. Let's look at scope, or in other words, the context in which variables and constants are accessed or visible. The way we've been declaring variables has been in global scope, meaning the variable is accessible from anywhere in your code. But if the variable or constant is declared within a block of code, like conditionals or loops, they can only be seen within that block of code. These are called block scope or level scope. Same thing happens if they're declared inside of a function. It restricts the variable to the function that they're declared in. You can't reference the variable outside of the functional block of code where they were declared because they won't be recognized. Understanding the variable scope helps you write cleaner and more predictable code. We will see scope in action later when we begin using functions and conditionals. In this conditional, the variable name first name, which is the assign the value of Bob, can only be recognized within the statement or inside the curly braces. If you try to reference it outside of the if statement, it won't be recognized. You will get an error with this console log. If we move the declaration of the variable to the outside of the if condition, then it is now global and can be recognized inside and outside of the if statement. And therefore, we would see the console log Bob. So there we have an introduction to variables and constants, named spaces in memory used to store data or values that we will use in code.